Welcome. We have reached review time with Imperial, and today's review will be Bel-Air, Season 1, Episode 7. Let's get into it. So subscribe to the channel, like the video. This episode didn't really move the needle in the storyline to me. It just was a kind of like a filler. So you got Carlton, who is having problems with the kid at school, Connor, who had problems with Will, and the kid Connor pretty much is popular and has the rest of the students alienating Carlton. So Will jumps in his mode. Basically, let's throw a party for Carlton and get him to have his own friends. Meanwhile, at the beginning of the episode, you had Uncle Phil speaking to Will, and the police chief, Fred, speaking to Lisa. Basically telling them that both sides is telling the other ones that, hey, I'm running for this DA position. Uncle Phil is telling Will he need to keep his distance from Lisa, and Fred is telling Lisa to keep her distance from Will. Now they're teens, so teens gonna be teens. So if you don't want them to be in the public eye together, they're gonna sneak. So that's what they're doing. They're sneaking. But once again, Carlton doesn't know this is going on. So of course Carlton had this deal with Will that he would leave Lisa alone. Meanwhile, the way they wrote this, so let me get a sidebar while I'm telling. I've been said this in other video. They could write better storylines than to have your cousin mess with a girl that you was into just like a year ago. Like, if she was a slide, that's one thing. She was a slide, that could be understandable. But if she was a good girl and they were into it and they fell out of it, like, So nevertheless, I already put that out there in another video, but of course that's the storyline they want to go with. So, Aunt Viv has now let me backtrack. Uncle Phil campaign manager basically came to him saying, "Hey, get no donations. We need some more money to vamp up. Go into the account and pull more money." And Viv is not feeling that. But Uncle Phil already gave a cosign because really it's his money. But when you marry, you're supposed to consult with your wife. So she felt some type way about that. So the campaign manager pretty much said, "Did you want me to pull the money?" So basically that made Aunt Viv upset because he already went and made the decision on his own without consulting with her. So she came back pretty much tick for tack. Well, I'm gonna have an art gallery. I'm going to an art gallery. Basically, you already know who's at that art gallery. So she's going to the art gallery, and before she left to the art gallery, Jeffrey spoke with Uncle Phil, telling Uncle Phil pretty much he need to watch for Broderick because he has a way with the ladies, especially young ladies who's trying to boost their career. And so when they're at the art gallery, he's pushing up on Aunt Viv, and cause Uncle Phil fighting for his wife. Nah, I ain't gonna let you just he gotta make his stamp like I'm here. He ain't gonna just get this off. So So Uncle Phil, at first he comes off like I'm really coming here to support you, but he's really coming there because of the men. So she's just going with it, but she obviously feeling some type of way because he was sitting there talking to Aunt Viv, and here he comes up basically saying black love is a beautiful thing. Real ballsy Joker, man. The balls of him. So you know they gonna eventually have a fight scene between the two characters. You know that's gonna happen. That's what it's building up to. So them having a fight scene. So Uncle Phil proceeds to let him know he knows about his track record with the young women, basically inspiring women to do art. He sleeps with them. And he pretty much told Uncle Phil don't believe everything you see on basically Google or the internet. And he's strictly, whatever he's dealing with Aunt Viv is strictly professional. He's interested in her art, knows she has talent. Uncle Phil ain't trying to hear that pretty much. So they have a little back and forth. And he tells her, let me know when you're ready. Basically handle your situation with your husband. So they get back to the hotel. And they basically have what they call a heart. It's basically a heart to heart where they don't hold no punches with each other. They keep it, love, but be honest. So she pretty much said from her side that she needed him back in 15 years ago to tell her that for her to stay with her art and to keep figuring it out and keep pushing and not allowing her to quit. He kind of didn't push her from her standpoint. So when he gave his standpoint, he kind of spoke to basically your confidence wasn't there in yourself. You kept comparing yourself to other artists where you didn't feel yourself that you was worthy. And no matter what I said, you still didn't have the confidence. So he went from there and stated, all I did was I gave you a gateway to, giving you the opportunity where you didn't have to do anything. All you had to do is pretty much walk through the door, and that's what you did. And so she basically didn't need to hear that because that motivated her, that she got something to prove. So he basically said, you want to take a drive down the coast? And she said, no, you should just go home. Wow. Wow. And she pretty much didn't end the night there. She went down and went to the bar, and there she is with Broderick at the bar, and they talking about art. So they making this intriguing enough to make you think that Aunt Viv is going to cheat on Uncle Phil. I don't think that's how they're going to go with the writing. I think they're going to make it look like she's going to give in, and when he finally shows his hand, she's going to return, find out that he wasn't really that into her art. He was really trying to get at her because he always loved her or whatever. So I think that's how it's going to play out with that. But nevertheless, then you had Hillary with the posts that was put online, the provocative post about her cooking in lingerie and the social media. So she approached the social media guy, telling them that's what she didn't want her brand. But in the process of that, she brought Jazz with her to support her. And she got Jazz rallied up, and he's supporting her like, I got your back, we're gonna go in here. And he telling the guy, just take the post down, but not before the guy got a chance to say, hey, I had a talk with Victoria's Secret. They want to meet you. So he was like, just take the post down, because he thought she was really, about that, you know. And she quickly changed her mind, said, hold on, don't just do that right yet. Let me just at least speak to him. So she came back after a while, and her drink that he had got for her was all watered down. And she pretty much was like, oh, they're going to give me $15,000 a post, and this is a real opportunity for me. And then once I build my brand, I could start doing the things that I want to do with my audience. That's not how it works. Your audience gravitate to you what it was built on. A lot of times when you start switching up, you'll notice that the engagement and all that drop, because they only cling to you for certain things, and you no longer do that. They go elsewhere. So, because you build a crowd off of what if she builds her crowd off her fan base off of what she initially wanted, then they always want to be there for different stuff. But she building it off of being provocative, and the minute she doesn't no longer do that, her true fans will still be around, but the fans that are sensationalized of her appearance, those are the ones that'll fade on. So nevertheless, we're going to see how that plays out as well. And then gets back to the story. You have Lisa, Will in the room. Gary do. Lisa pretty much is like, I trust you. She's trying to get Will to tell her what's the real reason he's out to Cali. He pretty much said for a better opportunity. He didn't give in. At this moment, he didn't give in. But he will eventually. You know that's coming. Nevertheless, they do. He definitely hit them skins, and boom. You already seen it in the trailer, where the trailer pretty much was saying, you sure? You already knew that was coming. Meanwhile, Carlton is looking for Will, because he has a turnover new leaf. The fans is liking him. He shut down Connor. Connor pretty much thought he was going to take the crowd with him. The crowd elected to stay with Carlton. And Carlton's pretty much looking for Will to congratulate, yeah, man, thanks. Appreciate you doing this. Of course, Will couldn't keep it in check, so he upstairs getting busy with Lisa, and then he noticed that some lights is flashing, police lights. Meanwhile, Connor called the police on Carlton, and they were pretty much had Carlton with his hands up in his own house. So Will was telling Lisa, don't come downstairs because your dad shouldn't know that you're here. Meanwhile, Lisa's pretty much like, I can help. You know who my dad is. He's a police chief. I could get this shut down. So that's what she did. Meanwhile, Carlton's looking like, dang. He see Lisa coming downstairs with Will. He already know what it's hitting for. So we're going to see how that play out. But I think Carlton going to get frustrated, and he's going to state the real reason why Will is out here. So that was the episode. Wasn't really a filler, but as I go over it, it was a little bit more than just a filler. So decent enough nevertheless. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. Till next time.